4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck.
Hello, Shots Fired Marathon. Thank you for having me. We're going to be speedrunning Far Cry Primal with my buddy Nukem Quad 9 on the couch, commentating as well.
Hello.
Say hi. And this is a bit unique because it's an any percent run, but typically any percent runs are done on easy. This one is done on the hardest difficulty, expert, with permadeath and survivor mode. So if we die, it's over. All right, so let's not die.
Chief, real quick before you start.
Yep.
The side stream.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about it? Oh yes, my bad. Gotcha.
Yeah.
We're going live on Discord. Can you see it? Let me know when you're good.
Cannot. And golden.
Good to go? All right.
Good. Sure.
Here we go. All right, so I have a macro for all my settings, so we'll hit that real quick, and timer will start right after this loading screen. So it's going to be 3, 2, 1, go.
So, right from the start, this is basically one long interactive cutscene. Chief is just doing what the game tells him to do, and he's gonna peg one bird here just to pass the time. If you've played Far Cry Primal before, Survivor mode changes things up a bit to make it harder and more interesting. The biggest difference is the stamina bar under the health bar in the lower left. It's stamina. You have to eat, you have to sleep. Chief has that all rounded out. Throughout the run, he will be upgrading Takar's guts bag so that Takar can carry as much meat as possible so the Chief can keep his stamina optimized and as many emergency heals as he needs.
You can see me turning on and off hunter vision. This is just a way of highlighting the important things and graying out the unimportant things. I'm going to be using it a lot, even though it looks horrible. Okay, I might have hit that a little too early.
There is a fan theory bouncing around the internet that Takar is in fact this game is part of the Assassin's Creed universe because Hunter Vision and Eagle Vision look so much alike. Ubisoft will not confirm or deny this.
So yeah, Hunter Vision makes everything look pretty bland. But, okay, we kind of just soft locked here.
Oh. Yeah, the Mammoth has to kill the 2 hunters currently standing on the ground before the mission will progress.
This is not good. It threw me off because of the settings. The macro failed, so my timer was off. So we're losing a little bit of time here.
Okay. Well, hopefully Goat Lord will bless us the rest of the time.
So all the Mammoth does here is kill these 2 hunters, and then progresses forward through the vines. And he is taking a very long time.
He knows this is his one moment on the stream, and he wants to make the most of it.
So yeah, starting out a minute behind already. That's nice.
So, Chief is waiting for, well, Chief is trying the overlayer strike. It worked.
Not much to do here. He just basically one-shot the Mammoth at the end.
Yep.
I show off and boost off the cliff.
About the only thing there is you can't actually kill the mammoth until Dulso there yells for you to do it. Okay, so past Oros, this is the tutorial. Chief is going to need to assemble his hunting bow and collect 3 goats to proceed out of this area. He is headed for a cliff on which there will be waiting a dead goat that he can take for free, and the game will count it towards his total. You can see how many resources he needs in the upper left corner. And hey, they're giving you slate this time. In a couple of the practice runs, the spawn rate on slate was just non-existent.
Goats are starting to run all over the place. The goal is to try to get them trapped in that corner, because the next place I'm going is up over that ledge to a campfire. However,
This is
they
why we
kind of have a mind of their own. They can end up running in the completely wrong direction.
This is why we talked about making offerings to Goat Lord. This is a 2.5-hour speed run that can reset in the first 5 minutes if these goats don't want to play ball. So we pray to the Goat Lord that he allows the goats to be hunted easily. Also in this run, it is not RNG, it is RN Goat. Or maybe that's just me. Once he catches his final goat, he will head up, make a fire, and then he will have 3 wolves to hunt. Wolf skins are a huge deal in the early part of the game. He will be collecting the first 3 of a total of 9 that he will be picking up for upgrades as he goes.
This is probably the worst goat RNG that I've ever had.
Once again, the goats know this is their moment to shine. They're making the most of it. All the animals are just going to be running around. Look at me! Look at me!
So what's supposed to happen there is we're supposed to corral them in this corner over here. And when they're corralled in the corner, you just launch arrows in there. And you hardly even need to aim. And if there's enough of them in there, you'll just end up shooting 2 of them. And once you skin them, you can progress on to this part, where I'll now build a club. And you'll see me start eating all the meat that I have. That's to build up my stamina, because again, on survivor mode, the main thing that survivor mode does to make it harder is it limits the resources that spawn. So it's harder to gather the resources you need because there's less of them available. It also gives you the stamina bar, which causes you to move very, very slowly if you run out of stamina. And you also need stamina and food to fast travel. So you have to be able to manage all those things throughout the run.
Yep.
And that's what makes it a lot harder.
Fortunately, as I said, he's going to immediately hunt these 3 wolves and replenish his meat. You're supposed to scare them with a torch, but where's the fun in that? So animal hitboxes in this game can be a little bit wonky, as you guys already saw with the goats. Pardon me. Here, these wolves, you see he's aiming right about at their nose. That is what this game counts as a headshot. Nose or eyes. If you aim at the actual skull, it'll sometimes not give it to you. It's just one of those quirks of the engine. Jump here to avoid a swimming section.
So there's a small little skip that you can do where when you're falling from a distance that will cause you to stumble, if you throw a rock at the right time, the rock animation will clash with the stumbling animation and cancel out the stumbling animation. So that's what I did there. I jumped over the water and onto the land, and to prevent stumbling, I threw a rock at the right time. Saves a second or 2, but it's a cool trick.
N7 1988, yeah, his question got answered, but I'll mention it anyway. There are no search animations in this run because Far Cry Primal allows you to turn them off.
Yeah, probably the number one question I get asked on my YouTube channel about Primal is how do you skip the search animations? Well, there's a combination of two things. Number one is a setting in your menu. You can turn them off. And also, I hold the interact button before reaching the item I want to loot. And when I reach the item, it'll just automatically loot.
Yeah. This will allow him to do drive-by skinnings of animals as he kills them.
Okay, the first skill I'm getting now is Sprint Heal. That allows you to continue sprinting while healing. Again, I'm just eating the meat that I have in order to build up my stamina.
So he's collecting 4 green leaves for the mission objective. He is also going to collect 2 deer skins during this mission for future crafting purposes. After he collects the 4 green leaves, as soon as it acknowledges the last leaf being collected, he's going to hit a checkpoint, which will turn him around back towards home base, and he will start running in that direction to pick up the first deer, which will be laying dead on the ground. Then there will be a second deer in the meadow to his left, which is locked into that area. It can't escape, so he will run it down and kill it, and that will be his skins. You just heard the deer off to the side. Here's the dead one. And here's hoping that the live one, there it is.
And we just beat his brains in and take his skin.
Apparently the goats have had their fun, so the deer are going to be nice. Oof.
You could easily die here, but if you bob left and right, they have a really hard time hitting you. So you might see me swinging my club like a madman. You actually get a nice little boost when you do charged melee attacks. But you only get the boost if you let go of the forward button. And you get more of a boost if you're able to time your spins just right. It's a little bit difficult to explain, but if you do a full spin while while doing melee attacks, charged melee attacks, and letting go of all your buttons, you can be launched really far in any direction. But that's pretty uncontrollable, so I found a way to kind of spin a quarter turn to the right and then half a turn to the left, and then hold the right arrow, and that sends you flying. The key is to let go of the forward button. If you keep holding forward, you're not going to get a boost. Right now I'm just looking for reeds, alderwood, slate, and blue leaves, but didn't get very good RNG for the blue leaves because I think I only have 1 right now.
He'll be checking just about every body of water he passes looking for blue leaves, because 2 blue leaves and a piece of meat is the speed boost recipe. Or, no, 2 pieces of meat and a blue leaf, sorry, is the speed boost recipe. Which doubles, I believe, it doubles your speed running. And combined with jumping through the air, that is the fastest way to travel.
It doesn't
Sorry, I
quite,
didn't mean to cut you off.
yeah, it doesn't quite double, but it just makes you run a lot faster for a certain period of time. So I'm constantly trying to refill on blue leaves, refill on meat.
He is hoping to encounter dholes, wild boar, and wolves along this path.
And there's a skip right there where you can just shoot a fire arrow at the bonfire. And since this bonfire is like the tutorial bonfire, there are no enemies here. You can take it over just by lighting on fire. I'm going a little out of my way for that.
Lighting the bonfires increases wench population and gives experience. he needs to get to about 50 Wenja living in his home village by about the 130 mark in the run. So he will also periodically, if the RNG is kind to him and he finds some skirmish side missions or rescue side missions, he might take a couple of those to get it done too. This is a very RNG run and a very adaptable run. A lot of the run is just taking what the game offers you and making the most of it. Kind of like living in real caveman times.
Alright, so this will be the first vision that you do. In Far Cry games, the plot is usually based in reality. So in order to do things that are a bit more unrealistic, like fantasy style things, they have you hallucinate or trip or do drugs or something. But the cutscene that I skipped pretty much showed me getting drugged by the shaman named Teensai.
That's actually one of the things I like about Primal specifically. The other Far Cry games try to play it up, is this magic or are you just on drugs? Primal actually doesn't try that. Primal just says, yeah, there's magic. You can tame animals with a wave of your hand. We're doing the juju.
Is it looking, is the stream lagging right now? It tends to lag on this mission.
A little bit. It doesn't look too bad. Chief is going, right here, Chief is going to aim for the upper right corner of the waterfall and try to launch himself to avoid another swimming section. And he got it. He got it. Perfect. Saves about 6 seconds or so, because if you land in the water, you have a sequence of Takar sinking down a bit before you have control back. Yeah, the lag is smoothed out now.
Okay. Yeah, this mission tends to trigger some lag for some reason. So, there are some skins that you need in order to complete the run, because a lot of the crafting and building and things like that require skins, but the two that are hardest to get are the Black Dole skin and the White Rhino skin. I'm hoping to get a lucky Black Dole skin in a rare loot sack, which I'll come across a few of those, or hunter's caches. They're basically just areas you can loot that give you 2 rare items. So we're looking for a Black Dole skin. The world record run, I use RNG. I'm just hoping to get a Black Dole skin in the bag. But because I want to make sure we complete this run on the marathon, I routed in a mission that's guaranteed to give it to me. It just takes probably an extra 30 seconds or so.
Yep. So for actual game completion, the only missions that need to be completed to reach the credits are the main story missions, which on the map will be the missions with yellow backgrounds and a character's face on them. The orange marked hunting and other side missions and the red marked bonfires and outposts do not have to be completed for to get to the credits, but Chief is, as he said, going to take a few of them just for guaranteed resources and fast travel points.
No, umifakwi, jasuruha. Wenja is a legit language.
Yeah, they are not. That's not gibberish that they are speaking. Ubisoft brought in linguists to create 3 languages for the 3 different tribes in the game to speak. And if you spend enough time playing this game, you can become fluent in Wenja. Rapora 9 is.
Okay, so I'm getting really unlucky. I did get a blue leaf in that bag, but I had 4 chances to get more blue leaf there, and I failed every one of them.
So in normal play, Chief would have turned to the right out of Tensei's cave to go to the next mission, but instead he is turning left. He's going to go touch a particular campfire that will give him a fast travel point for later. There is a quirk of survivor mode that certain campfires will count as fast travel points even if you don't control the region that they are in. That is, even if you don't control the bonfire or outpost near said campfire. And this is one of them. As long as Chief does not load a checkpoint, that campfire will remain a fast travel point.
Okay, so we're doing really bad on slate right now. I'm going to have to get really lucky and find some more slate. I haven't found any. I only have the 4 for the intro. It's
Okay,
another example of how RNG can really screw you over.
Yep. The RN goat giveth and taketh away. So we're looking. So slate is going to be the kind of triangular-looking stone. It'll show up colored gold in Hunter Vision. I think. No, that was a goat.
The thing about the resources is they're always going to spawn in the same locations, or they're always going to be in the same locations. But survivor mode is based on RNG, whether they're going to spawn or not. So I know where to look for them, but I can't control if they're going to be there or not. Now you'll get to see shards in action. Shards are really cool.
Shards are the single most powerful weapon in the game.
Yeah, they kill very quickly.
So, I assume you're going to check for boars here?
Yep. I see them already.
Perfect. This mission often has boars. This is a good place to get them if the run hasn't given them to us yet. 2 boar skins will give him the first upgrade to his guts bag, increasing his meat carry from 4 to 6 pieces. And his bait bag that he can use to tame and distract predators from 2 baits to 3.
Of course, he had to fall down there, wasting a bit more time. But now I can upgrade the guts bag, and I can carry 6 pieces of meat. I'm going to do a trick here where you fall off a ledge while holding the throwable. And you want to keep the throwable out. Don't release it. And when you hit the ground, it'll release the throwable automatically. And then it'll duplicate it. So I got to keep the one that I had. So you see, it's a way to duplicate your throwables. And it's a glitch that it's pretty nice to use for shards. It makes it a lot faster to get another shard.
Also useful for bait. It can allow you to use a bait without having to replace it using that precious meat.
Alright, I'm in some trouble right now because the game is just refusing to give me slate. There was probably like 30 places that it could have spawned and none of them spawned. So I only have 4. Still no slate up here.
Need 6 if I remember correctly.
I need 8 slate and I only have 4.
8, there we go.
The 4 that I got for the intro. There was 1 piece. Yeah, I'm in a lot of trouble right now.
So we're gonna have to do a little grind. We'll be so he can bring the white wolf along. So now that he's back in the village, the normal route is to build Silas' hut, then Takar's cave, then Tensei's hut in that order. Doing it in that order will allow him to unlock sting bombs and get a big chunk of experience that he is going to spend on crouch run and sprint forever. 2 skills that, like the name implies, will substantially increase his movement speed.
Macrodon, you are correct. Everything that could go wrong right now is going wrong. I should not have to run out looking for slate right now. And I lost 2 minutes in the beginning because of the soft lock. Okay, no slate there.
So while he's doing that, I will mention
No
that the
slate
white
here.
wolf, that according to me, the white wolf that you recruit in the previous mission, his official name is Geralt. And would you believe that I had to explain that to Chief Supreme the first time I made that joke? This
I
guy
don't play
has
The
never.
Witcher.
Yeah.
Okay, there's literally no slate anywhere. The game is saying, F you. You're not allowed to have slate.
On the other hand, you did get 3 of the 4 Dole skins you need, so there's that. But then again, Doles are common. Of course, normally Slate is fairly common too.
This is really unbelievable. It's been months since I've had to run out like this looking for slate.
There's some. There's 2. Please, both of them give you 2.
That was a
There,
triple.
3. We'll take 3.
Might as well grab a second one
And-
while we're here too.
Perfect. Okay. The Goat Lord giveth and the Goat Lord taketh away, but we're back on track.
I'm not even gonna look at my time. It's just bad.
Superstar.
So the achievement for this, for finishing on Permadeath Expert Survivor, was like, forget it. No one's ever gonna do this. So
It's official.
if I
Oh,
just
go ahead.
finish it, it's good, right?
It's officially called Survival of the Fittest, and funny enough, Ubisoft Connect, Ubisoft's PC version, will give you 100 store coins for getting it, which I've always thought was hilarious. Ubisoft will actually pay you to get this achievement.
So usually I'm about 21 minutes here, and I'm at 25 minutes, so we're 4 minutes behind.
The little stone he went and picked up while teens say the shaman was talking is called a Daisha hand. They're in-world collectibles. He grabs a few of them throughout this run for a little extra experience to get his preferred upgrades that much quicker. Shh, Mocker. Shh. Don't remind us.
It's okay. I'll beat the world record by 2 minutes still.
So, welcome to Attack of the Udam. It's really too bad we had to skip the previous cutscene in the cave, because Takar and Scylla have a little conversation where she gives him a new club and tells him he needs to go beat a bunch of Udam to death with it. She is so excited by that idea. So, Attack of the Udam. This is going to introduce a new enemy type who tends to be a pain in the butt, bombers. The Udam version of the bombers throws poison bombs, so he'll be wanting to keep his distance, hit them in the head with throwing shards as much as possible. He's going to defend this cave entrance mostly by dropping stalactites on anyone, or he's just going to use throwing knives instead of the stalactites this time. If he gets over there fast enough, he can drop those stalactites hanging from the ceiling and kill this whole wave in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, sorry, I mixed that strat up a good bit.
Yeah,
Sometimes
it's fine.
I do it.
It just demonstrates more of the power of throwing knives. The advertising for this game played up the double bow as being so important. No, it's throwing knives. It's throwing knives.
I should
Or
probably
throwing shards,
kill
as
him
this
real
game
quick.
calls them. The reason the throwing shards are so powerful is because they have their own built-in aim assist. Even if you've turned off aim assistance, the throwing shards still have their own.
Scylla,
as long
what are you
as
doing, Scylla? Talk to me. Thank you.
As long as you throw anywhere within about a 1-inch circle around an enemy's head, it'll give you the headshot. They're the only weapon in the game that is that forgiving, which is why we use them so much.
One thing that's important to note about that is you have to have your distance. Like, you can't be too far away, you can't be too close to them, or otherwise it won't work. When you're throwing the shards, you got to be, like I would say, like a mid-distance away from them.
That's my best estimate marker of the range of the grace period, the grace area the shards will give you. If you watch, sometimes he'll toss a shard, and he's very obviously not on the enemy's head, but it will give him the headshot anyway because the shards are forgiving. We're coming up on, thank you, Bushcrafter. We're coming up on the second half of Attack of the Udam. He has to destroy 3 bone tree totems and then kill every Udam in the village. Normally, in normal play, as you destroy totems, more reinforcements come in, but he's going to destroy all 3 totems before any Udam detects him, before the battle properly starts, and that will stop the reinforcements from arriving. This will cut the number of enemies from 17 down to just 8. Much faster.
And this is the tricky part here because you can get spotted while doing this. But
there you go. But Chief, as always, makes it look easy because he is the god of Far Cry Primal.
If that guy hits you, you're probably going to die because he's got a fire club. And fire sucks. That guy does not have a fire club.
There we go. We just had a demonstration of the power of shards. Threw a little off to the right, and it still gave him the headshot. And just like that, mission accomplished.
And we're 4 minutes behind.
Be optimistic, Chief. The White Rhino will appear just as you're strolling south. You won't even have to grind for it.
We're approximately a Super Mario Brothers speed run away, or behind. It's an entire game. Okay, now we get to partake in Vision of Ice. Another vision.
These vision quests are, for all intents and purposes, interactive cutscenes. Even on permadeath mode, you cannot actually die in one of these visions. If you run out of health, the game just checkpoints you. And while checkpointing would be bad because of the campfire setup I mentioned earlier, at least the run would not be over.
Yeah, so basically just run past all these enemies in the beginning until you get to the area at the end of this tunnel that we're going to be approaching soon.
Thanks, Macker. Say hi back.
So yeah, pretty much just running and jumping and trying to avoid getting crushed by this ice.
Shockwaves here trying to keep Chief from running her down, but it's not going to stop him. And then at the end of this long tunnel, he will have a fight where he will have to kill a couple waves of enemies, and that will be the end of the vision. This mission is also the introduction to heavy type enemies, which are the ones who are twice as tall as the regulars and fully armored. In this mission, and this mission only, you can kill them with one charged club swing. Otherwise, the preferred strategy is throwing shards, just like everything else. There we go.
Sometimes they're a little bit tough, but you're supposed to be able to kill them in one shot.
So, fun fact while Chief is clearing this way, that stone statue is actually a real thing. It's called the Venus of Willisdorf, and it is considered the oldest known piece of human artwork. So who knew these insane cannibals were actually deep artists? You wouldn't expect people who wear the skulls of their enemies to be into that sort of thing, but I guess you just don't know people sometimes.
Alright.
And I don't know why the Udam asked at the end there, why do we keep dying? Clearly the reason they keep dying is because they keep getting in Chief's way.
Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is fast travel out to a bonfire. And then go activate a Dole mission. The Dole mission is a mission that I'll be able to do on my way to another mission later on in the game. And it will guarantee that I get a black Dole skin. Because you need a black Dole skin in order to continue, in order to build Das Hut.
Here's one of the skirmishes I mentioned earlier. He kills it, he gets some more Wenja added to the village.
I could easily die here. Don't die. Please don't die. Okay. It's a really risky slide because sometimes you can fall down into the, basically like a crevasse.
Yep. If you, when you're sliding down a hill like that, if you press a directional key towards the hill you're trying to stick to, it will help you stay on the slide instead of falling off and taking damage. This makes hill sliding actually fairly reliable, and in large part, things like grapple points can just be ignored. Just slide down the side
until you hit a bump and it like jolts you off the cliff, and you end up falling much farther than you expected to.
Right.
My number one way of dying.
Also, your number one way of ending runs by having Takar do his best Thor impression.
Okay, here's the Dole mission. That's how you activate it. Oh my goodness. I did not mean to light that on fire. Just wasted a second or two there. It's really annoying. There's some meat that I tried to get without lighting that campfire on fire. Yet it never fails, man.
So he is now headed to Kapal Outpost, one of the few outposts he's going to take this run. You take a grand total of 4: Kapal, Piki, and then the 2 forts.
Well, it's Kapal Outpost, Piki Meat, and Twarsha Cave.
Twarsha Cave, so yeah, 5.
Yeah, Twarsha Cave Outpost. And then the 2 forts, yeah.
Kapal Outpost will give him a pile of experience, a wolf, whom he is going to tame and then immediately murder, and a pile of resources for him.
And all the outposts are done undetected, for the purpose of gaining more XP. If I don't do it undetected, it's going to mess up my skill points later. So it needs to be undetected.
At Kapal, it's a difference of 1,000 experience points between undetected and detected. Don't panic about those detection meters filling. As long as he hits them before they hit the absolute last pixel, he's still invisible.
Okay, that was undetected. We're good to go. And now, the saddest part of the run.
Tame the wolf, kill the wolf, because we still need more of those wolf skins. Ubisoft actually gave you an achievement for that one too. It's called Tears of Shame, and it usually for killing and skinning your own tamed animal.
Okay, so one of the tasks, or one of the things that you're tasked with to progress through this story mission is going out and finding lost Wenja that you can bring back to your village and help to build your village and teach you skills and things like that. I'm on my way to Woga the Crafter right now. So Woga the Crafter is a sneaky little man, but he's going to end up pissing on me. But you won't see that because I skipped that cutscene. But I end up getting... the mission is called Trapped because he traps you in his little, like, Silence of the Lambs underground lair. But I won't be putting any lotion on my skin.
It probably bears mentioning at this point. Chief, the reason Chief tamed that wolf and then murdered it instead of just killing it outright, he is trying to get 4 tamed animals before he reaches the Bone Cave mission, where he will pick up a 5th animal, and 5 animals are what he needs to get the Tame Apex Predator skill, which will allow him to collect the saber-toothed tiger that will become his main beast for the rest of the run. So right here, he's picking up tame wildcats, which allows him to add this jaguar to his collection.
And at the same time, I'm going to pick up this grappling claw, which allows me to actually skip the animation of picking up the grappling claw. Yet, I still have the grappling claw.
Yep.
So that saves a couple seconds because Takar will actually bend down, pick it up, and look at it, and then, you know, carry on. But...
And now he's going to drop in here. He's going to kill all 3 of these jaguars because he needs their skins to build Woga's hut back at base.
Actually, I'm just going to kill 2. And if the 3rd one gets in my way, he'll die.
Okay.
Yep, you only need 2.
You only need 2, but the 3rd one really likes to get in your face. Who knew jaguars attacked in packs? Hey, there you go. There you go. The 3rd jaguar did not interfere. We've had a good RNG break for once.
Okay, trap is done. And I'm out. So I'm going to do another duplication trick. You see, I have 3 baits right now. But if I jump off of here, never mind, I slipped, so I didn't get enough air.
You have to fall far enough to actually take damage for the duplication trick to work. Because you have to do the, for what causes the trick to work is the animation of Takar hitting his hands and knees.
Yeah, so all you do is you jump from a height that would cause some kind of animation from falling while holding the throwable. So you can jump into the air and then bust out a throwable. Don't let go of it, because if you let go of it, it'll be like you just threw it normally. But if you just hold it, upon hitting the ground, it'll automatically release, and you'll retain the throwable that's in your inventory, plus throw what was in your hand automatically. So if it's something that you can go pick up again, you can make endless shards or endless baits from only ever crafting 1. Alright, this mission, you have to go in here and get these rocks called the Blood of Oros. And we used to climb up from the bottom, collecting them as we go up. But I found a place to drop in right here, where you can actually grab them 1, 2, 3, and hopefully I don't die, because they can definitely hit me in here.
The mission actually requires 4 for completion, but he pulled one out of his village, out of the village's stockpile earlier, and the game counts that as one towards mission completion.
Okay, I need 4 wolf skins. And I always say that out loud so that I commit it to memory, because RNG kind of determines how many wolf skins I'm going to end up with at this point. And right now I need the most. So RNG was not good to us for that.
For those keeping score, he used 2 wolf skins to build Tinsei's hut a few minutes ago. He needs 4 of them to build the hut of an upcoming recruit named Karush, and he needs 3 of them to increase the size of his spear belt so he can carry multiple spears.
Now, the good thing about needing the wolves is that they travel in packs, and they travel at night. And the next place I travel to, it'll be nighttime, all along that route. So I'm going to encounter a lot of wolves. It's just, you know, you don't want to really take the time to do it.
Yep, chat's getting excited. They know it's peaky time. Peaky meat time.
Peaky. All right, here's one of the more difficult outposts that could really go wrong if I miss one spear hit. But I'm going to jump this gap, shard this guy in the face. Got the spear hit. That was the difficult one right there. There's another one. And then we crouch here. This guy goes flying sometimes. That wasn't a very big one, but sometimes he just goes launching into the air because he's carrying these sticks, and the physics somehow interacts with it. And it does some really wonky stuff. Okay, I'm just going to collect a little bit of meat here. And this. There's a moment in time where you can't fast travel after doing an outpost or bonfire, so it's okay that I take that time to collect stuff. Alright, here I want to make sure I have plenty of baits.
That peaky meat was perfect. As usual.
Okay, when you're doing this with wolves, you can actually throw the baits and they will start eating them. If you spread them out right.
And there's an example of the wonky headshot boxes.
I couldn't see his face, so it was pretty hard.
Also, when you are hunting wolf packs, always shoot the gray ones first. If you shoot the white wolf, that's the pack leader. If you kill him, the pack will run. Which is useful if you're trying to get away from them, but not if you're trying to harvest them for skins.
So I need to kill at least one more wolf along the way here.
I think you need 2 more. You got 2 gray wolves out of that one.
Yeah, but the fourth one's going to be in the outpost already. So.
Oh yeah.
So I really need to kill 3, but it's not going to happen. I'll get it on the way to the outpost.
Okay. Once again, a lot of this run is just about dealing with what the game throws at you.
Alright, so this is the first mission where we meet Karush. He is your Winja Brashtar, which just means brother, who teaches you how to fight. The thing is, he's not a very good fighter himself. And you need to get these guys on the fire, so I try to shoot them into the fire, but Karush doesn't really have the same idea as me. So he kind of messed that up for me, but...
So Karush just told him to burn a bunch of bodies to let the Udam know that they're coming. So he's going to burn 3 bodies, and then he's going to run around the perimeter of this arena, killing the Udam as they spawn in. Ooh, Wolf doing a bit of shot blocking there.
Yeah.
And here are Slingers. I think this is the first time we've actually gotten a good look at them. Slingers are a problem. Slingers, for some reason, on Survivor mode, slings when wielded by enemies practically function as sniper rifles. They can take him to critical health with 1 shot when the Slinger himself is only about 3 pixels tall on his screen.
Wait, what? Why? Why'd you... Okay, that was a glitch. I tried to kill my wolf so I could skin him, but instead I revived him, and I've got... I don't know what's going on here. What the hell? That's my wolf.
No, your wolf is off to the left. That's a random...
No.
Oh,
I revived him because he stayed alive whenever I... Like, he was down. he was supposed to die. So if your animal is down and you call another animal, he'll automatically die because you didn't revive him. You just called a different animal in place. So my jaguar showed up, but my wolf didn't die. I wanted him to die so I could skin him and use his skin for later.
Goat Lord's having a good old time with this run. So, Bone Cave. I consider this mission a newbie trap. Chief is going to walk into a cave searching for a missing Wincha hunter, and he is immediately going to encounter 2 cave lions. He's going to tame one of them to get his 5th beast. As I mentioned earlier, get his 5th beast for the Tame Apex Predators skill. And the reason I say this is a newbie trap is because this mission is, even in casual runs, this mission is assigned to you about an hour into the game. So a new player just going over to this mission is probably going to lose their mind when they get jumped by 3 cave lions and a saber-toothed tiger. So
sounds like you speak from experience.
Oh yes.
I've died here many times, so
Yep.
the run could be over any minute now.
So now here's Tame Apex Predators. Now, in order to, and the saber-toothed tiger is approaching from this direction. In order to tame him, Chief has to get him at half health or lower. A headshot with an arrow and a headshot with a spear will get him where we need him to be.
That's another survivor mode thing. If you're playing normally, then you only need the skill in order to tame the Apex Predator. But that's another thing that makes survivor mode harder, is the fact that you have to do half damage on the animal in order to tame them. So I ran out of blue leaves, so I'm pretty slow right now. But I don't have a lot left in this section. But I do have to remember to kill another wolf.
On the left side of the screen, as Chief runs through this snowy area, you'll notice a cold meter counting down. In casual play, you can create warm clothes, but Chief is going to get around the cold meter by just lighting one of his weapons on fire and holding it as a torch as he runs. Yeah, Gimpy. Rapora and Macker couldn't do it, so as the ranking new guy of the Far Cry Primal community, it fell to me to be the co-commentator.
Okay, now we're on our way now to Twarsha Cave Outpost. And I hope we find another wolf, because I'm gonna need them. Okay, I hear them already. Got them?
There we go.
Now you gotta be careful because the wolves in this area are kind of hard to tell apart. The white ones and the gray ones, because they're all covered in snow.
This is Twarsha Den. Exceptionally important to get this one stealth, because there are only 2 entrances in and out of this cave, and if an alert is given, Chief can wind up surrounded and with no room to maneuver in a hurry. But as usual, I try to talk up the danger and then Chief makes it look easy. Hi, Wolf. Hi, Wolf.
And the wolf is dead.
And that is the wolf skins collected. Back to base to build Woga and Karush's huts, and hopefully not get locked into a couple of cutscenes. Chief is raiding the stockpile. The village maintains a stockpile of resources. In survivor mode, you can only access that stockpile if you're in the village itself. In normal play, you can access it from any outpost or bonfire. When you take over outposts in the game, a pile of crafting resources gets added to the village stockpile, and Chief picked them up so that he could build these huts.
Well, I haven't died yet, so there's that.
Yeah, there is that. There is that.
And you'll see me get really, really grumpy if I get an unskippable cutscene, because I've done a lot of testing to make sure that these cutscenes can be skipped. And you have to do it in a certain order on PC, otherwise it's not going to work.
Yep.
Okay. That skips. Nice. Okay. I'm not going to be Mr. Grumpy Pants right now.
Got the skip of Woga hitting himself in the balls.
Another skip. Good.
Perfect. Perfection.
Flawless victory.
Now,
Okay, now we build Karusha's hut.
Yeah. Unfortunately, these building cutscenes are unskippable. You have to stand here for a couple seconds watching everyone be proud of their work.
And then you can talk to him in the dark. There we go.
Karush does not give his mission in a cutscene. He just makes a speech, so you can talk to him and then leave.
Okay, now this mission, Peak of Oros, typically the way you access it is on the left side. And you climb up the cliffs and do some grappling and things like that. Well, I found a way to cut all that off by going out of bounds on the right-hand side. And it'll drop you off approximately halfway up. So you only have to do about half of the climbing necessary. It saves about 30 seconds.
During this mission, he's also going to be being dive bombed by the eagles that live on the mountain. If he's going to be listening for a particular screech that indicates an eagle is about to attack, and if he hears it, he's just going to duck under the nearest tree to avoid the dive bomb.
So this is the first out of bounds jump. This is the second one. And we're completely out of bounds, which Far Cry games are pretty solid, so I mean, there's not a lot of like glitching through walls or well, I can glitch through walls in this, but it's not using the speedrun. But yeah, so out of bounds, but it looks completely normal. But you're definitely not supposed to go where I just went. Okay, sometimes you get attacked while you're swinging from this rope, and it's going to knock you off the rope, but you don't fall down. You get attacked mid-air. And once the attack is over, you still have a chance to reattach.
There it is. There's the screech. That's the warning. Incoming eagle. He ducks under a tree and avoids the bomb.
Almost fell off.
That is the warning he was listening for.
Wait, what sound was it? Oh man, everyone just left chat.
Actually, I agree with Macrodon, who is saying it's not out of bounds. You just jumped up a hill.
It is out of bounds.
It is. Well, it's not the only place where you can do that, though.
According to the map, it's blacked out, and that is the out of bounds. That is the indicator on the map that it is not in bounds. That's why I said it doesn't look like I'm going out of bounds, but it is out of bounds.
Bushcrafter. I'm also impressed with how Takar can shake his rope loose from one grapple point and immediately throw and catch another one in midair.
Okay, now I just got the find rare resources perk. That is very important in survivor mode because resources are slim. So it should be called collect more resources, not find more resources, because you're not able to find more resources. It's just when you do find resources, you actually collect more from those resources. So that's going to help me get all the materials I need for the rapid bow and the huts and things like that. So there's still a lot of huts to be built.
Yep.
And now I'm on my way to Wilga's last mission called Lost Totem. There are three... go ahead.
Okay, so there are 3 totem looters that will be marked in red in Hunter Vision. Those are his targets. Ideally, he will take all 3 of them quickly and easily in stealth. He does not want them to be alerted, because if they get alerted, they run to an outpost and it becomes a much slower fight.
With a lot
So
more
what he...
enemies. Yep.
Yep. So what he's going to do is he's going to run up to this cliff directly ahead. He's actually going to fling a sting bomb down into the valley, but a bag full of bees, Far Cry's hand grenades. And if everybody's in the right place, he'll get 4 kills at once with the sting bomb. Meanwhile, he kills another looter, and those orders he was whistling to his beast sent the beast to kill the last one. And just like that, the mission's good to go.
Okay, that mission is done. That is undetected. But it doesn't matter. There's no bonus for undetected. It's just, like Nukem said, it's really bad if they make their way up the hill and go to all their buddies. And yeah, it's like rip run if that happens. So now we're going to meet Jama, or the proper way to pronounce it is Jima, but I think it sounds ridiculous. So,
or I was going to say,
Jama.
or today it would just be another. Today it would be another minute time loss on the marathon and an even grumpier chief.
Right.
But fortunately, that didn't happen.
I'm not even looking at the time anymore.
So Jima wants us to hunt a particular bear, and she says she's been tracking it for 2 days. And Takar quite properly makes fun of her for needing 2 days to find one bear when he trips over 3 of them just walking around Oros every day. So she responds by threatening to shoot an arrow at his nuts and tells him, "Fine, you're so good, you find the bear." And he says, "Yeah, I will."
I am the Beastmaster. So there's a Winja word called Guarpati, and that just means Beastmaster. So you'll hear them say Smarkaka Guarpati. Smarkaka is like a greeting, and Guarpati is Beastmaster. So it's pretty much, hello, Beastmaster.
And yes, as Chad has mentioned, Chief is still on the prowl for a black doll skin, checking every loot bag he passes.
Actually, no,
by
I'm not.
Oh, you're not?
Well, that's the advantage of activating the mission. I can skip over loot bags that are out of the way. So I wouldn't say I'm on the prowl looking at every loot bag. I'm just looking at the ones that are 0 time loss.
Okay.
But yeah, so at this point, the rare black doll skin is pretty much, no pun intended, but in the bag.
Yeah. Yay for marathon safe strats, people. Marathon safe strats.
Thank you, Sabretooth. You did your job this time. Yeah, so taking a little extra time to activate the Dole mission, where you're guaranteed to get a black Dole skin, saves a decent amount of time, because now you don't have to go out of your way looking at all these different loot bags and like hunters caches. So the little bit of time that it takes to activate that mission is easily made up for by the freedom of not having to go and do all that extra searching. Alright, so now I'm looking for Southstone, South Rock Dust, Blue Leaves, and I'm on my way down to some of these are a little bit too far out of the way. I'm on my way down to a bonfire, which will serve as a fast travel point, and also the campfire that's associated with it. I will be activating that as well. And this is something that I added in that's done earlier than normal in the run, because by going south now, I'm able to activate these fast travel points, and also gather all these resources along the way, getting the rapid bow a bit quicker.
So, if RN Goat is on his side, he may come across a white two-horned rhino.
Please no crocodile.
That will save him a grind later.
Yeah, so the thing we didn't mention yet about the white rhino, you might have said it, but I may have misheard it, is that the white rhino skin is one skin that you need that you cannot find in a random loot sack. I'm sorry, in a rare loot sack. You have to actually hunt it. So there's an area where it's typical for it to spawn, and sometimes it spawns really quickly. Other times it takes many times of running back and forth, spawning and despawning events and things that are in that region in order to get it. So we're hoping that it's on the left side of the river towards my next mission, and if that happens, I could save 2 or 3 minutes easily.
So, fingers crossed, say your prayers to Goat Lord, and let us have the RNG break in Chief's favor for once this run.
Alright, here's a bonfire. So Sting Bomb, we're going to lock those 3 guys up, and then hit the heavy with 2 Berserk shards, and we're done. And I do throw my club at that because the heavy gives me another club anyway, so it's not like I'm wasting a club, you know?
There you go.
Alright, so at this point I am sitting pretty good on blue leaves and the resources. I found a lot of south rock dust, a lot of south stone. Here's another blue leaf. So every time I find one of these blue leaves, I'm saving time, because it allows me to use the speed boost food recipe, which just adds up. Alright, now I need a little bit more food. So you can see I didn't have enough stamina to fast travel. So I ate again, built my stamina. Now I'm out of stamina. See how slow I am? I had to sleep to rebuild it. Because I'm traveling so far, I basically just travel halfway to where I'm going, sleep, and then travel the rest of the way. And then I'll regain the rest of my stamina by eating and stuff after that point. But if we didn't lose all that time at the beginning, my time at this point would be pretty good. This is about where I need to be.
Speaking of losing time, the mission he's headed to now is Stomp Udam. The official way to do it is to ride a mammoth and use it to break apart an Udam outpost, but that's slow, so he's going to just bust out the mammoth to complete that mission objective, and then he's going to turn the mammoth loose and burn everything down himself instead.
And you see I have a cold meter on the left-hand side. If I neglect my cold meter, I'll freeze to death. So I'm lighting the club on fire to give myself some warmth. And here I'm getting a Winja bracelet, which gives me XP. Also looting a bag that gives me leaves. And let's see. Okay, we can easily upgrade the arrows now. Let's call our saber-tooth up. And I know there's going to be yaks around here, so I like to try to kill these guys. With the rapid bow, you can one-shot them in the head. So five
yak skins will earn him the 3rd upgrade on his guns bag.
And I try to turn the hunter vision off so you guys have a more pleasing view, but it's just so useful to have it on that kind of hard to give it up. Oh shit, don't die. Don't die. Don't die. Ooh, that was close. That was close. That was almost rip run.
That's how quick the run can go sideways.
Okay. So now I just hopped on the Mammoth to activate the next part of the mission, and instead of taking the Mammoth through and destroying all these bone trees, I'm just gonna touch them with the torch, and they'll start burning. And what this does is it prevents me from having to ride the Mammoth, which is a lot slower because he slows down every time you break one of these. But also, it completes the mission as soon as these bone trees are done. No, no, no. Do not kill me. Whew. Hit the critical again. So you'll see right now. Okay, normally I would have had to ride him all the way over to a campfire that's like 200 steps behind me. So it's much faster to burn them down yourself. Wow, that was really close a lot of times there.
The final objective of Stomp Udam is supposed to be to take the Mammoth back to its herd, but if you are not on the Mammoth, it just skips that step.
Okay, I went a little too far to the left, so I'm afraid I'm going to fall off a cliff and die. But I think I'm good. Okay. Let's go to the right. Let's not fall to our death. Yeah, the best part about this being permadeath and on the hardest difficulty is the constant fear of death and knowing that you'll lose everything that you've accomplished up to this point. And embarrass yourself in front of like 200 people. So, hey, I'm still not out of the woods yet, so.
You got this. You're the primal champion. The credits even say so.
There's always a striped wolf here. So if you play this game and you can't find a striped wolf, just look somewhere between where Stomp Udam takes place and Big Darwa Fort. Okay, is this a baby mammoth? Yes. So if you ever make the mistake of trying to ride an elder mammoth, that's the last time you'll make that mistake. Because he will kill you very quickly. But the babies you can ride.
And the reason he's collecting a baby mammoth here, for given definition of baby, but the reason he's collecting it here is the fastest way to clear Big Darwa Fort and defeat Da, who is the Udam lieutenant, is to just crash a couple mammoths through his front door and let them rampage through his base.
Now, unfortunately, there's no other mammoths around. Usually I call a nice big herd of mammoths in here, but I simply don't have the time to look around for them. So I'm just going to ride him in, drop him off near the front gate. He's going to get spotted. Okay, please don't disappear. Sometimes you get really unlucky and he clashes into a wall or something and he disappears when you hop off of him. So right now he's going to do a lot of the work for me. And I'm just going to tag a bunch of enemies.
Chief?
Yeah?
Tunguska in chat put up a question. So what happens to this permadeath in the context of the marathon? What do you do if you do die?
Okay, so if I die, then I'm going to try to recover the save file. Because all that happens when you die is the save file gets changed from 1.save to 1.save.delete. And if you rename it to and remove the .delete part, you could actually recover your game in most cases. However, oh shit, Mammoth, I thought he died. Okay, he didn't die. Okay, so one mammoth takes a little bit longer.
For an idea of just how much damage mammoths can do, Da is supposed to have a health bar here. He's supposed to be an actual boss.
Oh, here's
fight.
Da. Watch. He's gonna kill him.
And there he goes. So much for that health bar.
Haha. You dead, though. Okay, cool. Yeah, so, yeah, on PC you can actually recover the save file and then try to open the game again, and sometimes it lets you back in. The problem with that is I'm going to lose some of my fast travel points, because as we mentioned earlier, there are fast travel campfires here that get activated just by discovering them, and if you don't secure them by also conquering the associated bonfire, you can lose them when you save, quick, continue, close the game, or load a checkpoint. Don't turn away from me. Look at that. He always turns away from me whenever I'm about to talk to him. What a freaking jerk. So that one mammoth kicked everyone's ass. I only killed like 1 or 2 people.
One heavy by my count.
Okay, the next mission I do is called Tall Elk, and it requires it's required to be nighttime. So I'm gonna travel here and lose all my stamina, but then quickly regain it by sleeping till night.
Since it held up your fast travel for a second, I suppose it's worth mentioning. Far Cry Primal can be very sticky about making you listen to things.
Oh yeah.
Even though you've been given back control and it looks like you're free and clear, sometimes the game will just be, no, they're not done talking. You stay right there and listen.
Okay, so now what we're hoping for in this mission is a glitch where the mammoth stands still.
Tall elk.
I'm sorry, the tall elk. So there's a glitch where the tall elk, what he's supposed to do is actually run out and like have you chase him and try to shoot him and kill him and stuff real fast, or have your beast do it. If that happens, it gets a little bit chaotic. It's pretty dangerous. It's slower. But on survivor mode, there's this glitch that will sometimes happen. Actually, most of the times it happens, where he literally just stands there and lets you kill him. So it's the best.
If the elk takes off running, the elk can fight back, and also a pack of Udam hunters will show up, and it turns into a running battle, which obviously we don't want in a speedrun.
So,
but
if we're lucky, it'll be glitched.
Yeah, this glitch has about a 70% occurrence rate. It literally happens more often than the mission runs correctly on survivor mode.
I've never seen it happen under, normal mode. And sometimes you can get a feel for it, like you know it's going to glitch already. But I've been wrong before, but I feel like it's going to glitch. But since this is the marathon, it probably won't. Okay, it's glitched.
Or just smiled upon us.
Hey,
so
buddy.
yeah, instead of a mini boss fight, we have a free kill. And that's that.
Okay, that mission is over now. Please don't kill me, please don't kill me. So in order to avoid getting hit, I'm like constantly dodging left and right. Jumping doesn't really do much other than makes you go faster, but bobbing and weaving, going left and right, that tends to help a good bit. So I'm doing a lot of that. Even if it's just a really small move, it'll prevent you from taking a spear to the back. And the cool part about this mission is you get loaded with all these spears ahead of time. So if you're out of spears, no problem. Get some free ones. Okay, I'm running over here to get the South Stone because I'll definitely need it later. And there's some other resources that can spawn here, so we check for it quickly. This is some South or North Clay. Always need a little bit more of that. South Stone. Blue leaf? No blue leaf. So I found this way you can jump on the rocks instead of swimming, and it cuts about half the swimming out.
So, in here, once again, we have a camp that needs to be burned to the ground. Also, high battery, by battery, will be stabbing you later. You are supposed to save some Winja prisoners while you're here, but that can be ignored. As long he can just burn this camp and leave, and it'll be just fine.
Yeah, if you listen at the end, once you kill the last enemy, the cages automatically break, and the winds are set free automatically. So.
The big danger here is going to be the Slingers on their guard towers. Izilla Slingers are even worse than the Udam versions, and they have telescopic vision. Sometimes they can spot you from angles you would not expect them to have any clue where you are.
So now I'm just burning shit?
Literally everything in this base is valid for filling up that bar. So, burn things in whatever order you get to, and as soon as the bar fills, mission is over and you can leave. You don't even have to actually kill everyone.
Okay, where are they at? Up from above. Okay, that went really well. So you can hear those cages break free. Those are the prisoners getting broken free. Always check those bags because they could have each one of them could have 3 blue leaves, but guess what? They didn't. Damn it. Alright, so that was pretty smooth.
Yes, it is, Macrodon. Macrodon is correct. This is the first time Far Cry Primal has been shown at a speedrunning marathon. How does that make you feel, Chief?
I'm feel very proud. Because this is the first Far Cry. I don't know if you guys know that or not. Chronologically. I just like to say that because they're like, wait, no, this came after Far Cry 4. I'm like, yeah, but still, it's 10,000 BC. It's the first Far Cry. Could easily die like that, but the water saves you. So just like in Blood Dragon, you don't take any fall damage. Well, in this one, in all Far Cries, you don't take fall damage if you hit the water.
Yep.
Unless there's like some kind of jagged rock sticking up that you didn't see. Could easily happen. Oops. Okay, so remember earlier how I took over Da's fort? Da is the Udam semi-boss. Well, we brought him back to the village, and Sila was not too happy about that. So when I go to talk to him here, he's not where I left him. She's trying to drown him, and now I gotta save him. Alright, please trick that I did for this work. Please, please, please.
Recruiting Da allows you to create those poison bombs that the Udam have been throwing at you. That's his big contribution to this run. And when you throw those poison bombs, they drive whole squads of enemies berserk. We'll be using that later to create infighting to protect people on escort missions.
Okay, and here's another vision called Vision of Fire. This is the last one. I don't know if we mentioned this earlier, but these visions that you do are sort of an escape from reality. And the way Far Cry games do that, because most Far Cry games are based in reality, is they have you hallucinate or take drugs or have a dream or something. So it's not real. This is permadeath, but if I was to die during this mission, since it's not in reality, I would not. It would not end my run. It would be really bad because I would lose some fast travel points that I need. It would waste a lot of time for me, but these do not count for permadeath. You can die here, and it's not a death.
Also, I like the fact that in Primal they don't play the maybe magic, maybe drugs angle. You can tame Sensei feeds you blood potions that send you on these vision quests. You can tame animals with a wave of your hand. Magic is very clearly in play here. So this is Vision of Fire. Just like Vision of Ice, in the first section, you can completely ignore the enemies and just run to the end point, where you have to destroy these pillars. They usually take 2, but sometimes they take 3 arrows per pillar.
Only if you miss. Okay, so I almost died, but okay, that's exactly what you want to do. Get this triple arrow during this transition, because when that happens, you don't lose any time. If you were to get the triple arrow while running, you're going to slow down a lot.
So here, he has to run to the top of this path and shoot the moon twice. You can shoot the moon from anywhere on the path as long as you have a triple arrow to fire at it. However, only the last 2 shots fired from the top of the path count, which is why he is totally ignoring the enemies and the moon and just concentrating on getting to the top. He has a triple arrow knocked already, so when he gets to the top, he's going to immediately shoot the moon, kill 5 enemies to get another triple arrow, shoot the moon again, and this mission is over. There's the first shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kills, triple arrow, second shot, boom.
And when the first shot that you make sends some debris and stuff flying up, and you got to be careful not to shoot that debris, otherwise your arrows will never reach the moon, and you'll end up having to get another triple arrow by killing 5 more enemies, and it wastes a lot of time. So you want to get it down to 2 shots only. And I think I will take the forced potty break here, because there is a cutscene that is unskippable, and it takes about a minute, and that's about all the longer I need for the potty break. So we'll take care of that now, because there's no way around this. So I'll be right back.
Okay, there we go.
Apa, kustva dasta. Kakura, Piki, Udam Hazar. Twanta Saiwadaha, Darwawai.
I kind of feel bad for Woga in this cutscene. I wish someone could tell him that the tar in his mix is what's actually sealing the wood and making it strong, and the blood and crap is just making it stink.
I cannot believe I made that in time. Okay, now I'll get the guaranteed Black Doll skin.
So what Chief's going to do here, he's going to run up and activate a side mission that would normally have him hunting between 9 and 11 dolls. The number is random. But all he's going to do is kill a couple of them, including the black one he needs, take the skins, and then go out of bounds to abandon the mission and keep his skins.
Where's he at?
The only way to keep the skins is to abandon the mission. If he tries to checkpoint out or anything, it won't let him keep his prize.
Yeah, so basically you either have to finish the mission, or if you want to keep the skins and not finish the mission, you have to just run away. If you were to fast travel, it would abandon the mission and you'd lose the progress you made during the mission. So the good thing is that literally took just the amount of time it took me to kill the Black Dole, because this is a shortcut to the next mission I'm doing anyway. So it's routed in this way in order to be like a no time loss guaranteed Black Dole skin. Of course it warns me that I'm leaving the mission area and all that, but we'll pay no mind to that. Okay, I'll take off here. Slide down. Please don't die. Please don't die. Please don't die.
There you go. And as soon as he hits the ground and the mission Winja Welcome starts, he's going to shoot a fire arrow off to the side, which startles the nearby Winja and cancels the cutscene trigger.
Yeah, so for some reason on PC, that cutscene takes about 10 seconds to skip. But for some reason, if the if your allies are scared there, it skips the cutscene immediately. Again, some really wonky, weird cutscene skipping tactics. But where there's a will, there's a way. We're always going to try to find a way to skip stuff. And I use the rope to swing to that first, the first spot where I need to block the leak. Because typically, if you don't do that, you would have to wait for the water to rise and do that one last. Because otherwise you can't reach it. And it takes about an extra 15 seconds. So that rope trick saves about 15 seconds. And you can actually time it right and shoot Da right there and kill him. For the lulz, but I wasn't willing to test it because you can fail the mission if you kill it.
I wasn't even gonna say anything. I just wanted to see if you were gonna try it.
Okay, I usually go here if I don't have a lot of blue leaves. I go here and I check. That blue leaf I just picked up only spawns once that mission's over. It's kind of strange.
Okay, welcome to Eye for an Eye, aka the second hardest mission in the game.
I could easily die right here. This could be rip run very easily.
Yeah. He can also very easily lose his checkpoint setup here as well. Not because he dies necessarily, but because he's going to have to escort Karush, who, in spite of being wounded and really in no position to fight, is going to try to get into every fight he can manage.
Alright, so there's a little pond out here that has it has a loot sack. It has the possibility of 2 blue leaves as well. So the loot sack could have a couple blue leaves. Oh, nice. I got a blue leaf from the loot sack. Well, just 1 blue leaf. Nothing, nothing really crazy.
Off in the distance there is an elder mammoth. See elder mammoth? You never want to mess with them.
Yeah, I've tried to ride them thinking they were a baby mammoth. Yeah, they'll kill you real quick.
We only hunt one of them through the whole course of the run, and that's because a mission demands it. Otherwise, just avoid elder mammoths. And that applies to casual play as well. Elder mammoths just not worth it.
Just scaring away these wolves because they're trying to kill me. Wolves do not like fire. That's what the tutorial in the beginning tries to teach you, but I just shoot them in the face, so you didn't get to see that. But the best way to defend yourself against animals at night is just to carry a torch around and be ready to stick it out in their face if needed. So, alright, we're going to berserk this guy, stick the line on that guy. Wait for him to turn around, shoot him.
We haven't mentioned the berserk shards until now. In addition to the berserk bombs that Da gave us, we also have Berserk Shards, which are throwing shards that if they hit the enemy anywhere in the body, will cause them to attack their fellows.
Okay, I need this skill, and I need to have the Berserk Bombs.
Yep. We are going to be making extensive use of both the Berserk weapons here, mostly to inspire infighting to keep the enemies off Karush while he escapes. So, Chief is also trying to stay ahead of Karush and block him as much as possible.
Oh, everything's on fire.
To prevent him from getting into fights. Karush is trying to run full tilt out of the cave, and Chief is trying to prevent him from doing so until all the enemies are dead.
And we got problems.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Okay, I think we're doing okay. Okay. Well, I kind of ran out of weapons and panicked. Okay, we did all right, actually.
Oh, that was perfect. That was downright perfect. That is about the cleanest eye for an eye you could possibly want and hope for. Beautiful.
I should have upgraded my spears there, but yeah, when you upgrade a weapon, it fills up your inventory with them. So it would have been nice to have done that, because then I could have killed a few more guys faster, but hey, that went pretty well, so. Alright, let's not freeze to death. And along the way here, I'm going to be building my weapons back.
Also, Bushmaster mentioning in chat, Berserk Shards thrown at animals will cause them to flee. This is correct. In fact, on the way to Eye for an Eye, you saw Chief do that in order to get a bear to leave him alone.
Yeah, so Berserk Shards will get all animals to flee except for badgers. Because badger don't give a fuck.
Yeah, Ubisoft was really into that honey badger meme during this this time period.
Okay, you see me like stick my torch out or stick my weapon out before I start crafting. That's because if you use an animation to clash with crafting a weapon, it will cause you to keep running fast. Now I'm getting trapped into the, I'm getting captured by the Udam right now, and they put me into this cage, and there's a grappling claw that you're supposed to pick up to get out, but you can actually jump up here and jump straight out without having to pick it up. Saves a couple seconds, and it's a cool trick. Again, I have not ever picked up a grappling claw here in this run.
Yep.
Yet I still somehow have one.
You just took the one back from your pack when you retrieved your pack.
It's like that Tomb Raider trick. I heard someone talking about something similar to Tomb Raider. Alright, so now I'm going to swing out of here. Again, we only need to kill one person in this mission. And it's the Cave Guardian.
Mm-hmm.
And I have Hunter Vision on the whole time. Again, sorry it looks like crap, but it's just so much easier to see everybody. I have my Berserk Shards ready just in case I need to get someone out of my way. Could also do it like that. Okay, now we're going to switch to the B, the Sting Bomb. I just want to make sure he's dead.
There you go. Now, Chief may use his emergency health here. Chief is hanging on to a couple of upgrade points, so 3 to be exact, so that if he gets hit climbing up here, because there's an enemy waiting for him right at the top of the cliff, if he gets hit, he will immediately purchase his 3rd health bar.
How did I not get hit? I didn't get hit. That's amazing.
But Chief is godlike.
Well, it's really good that I didn't have to use it because of the route change that I made, I end up not having enough skill points in order to get vicious traps if I use that health upgrade. So now I can get vicious traps, and we'll be able to kill the mammoth a lot faster.
Nice.
Okay, now I'm going to build Das hut. First, I got to talk to him. Booty swappa.
I don't know, does it sound to you like Daw's voice is actually maybe a little high-pitched for a man that big? Like, I feel like he ought to have like a deep baritone or something.
I don't know. He's a little raspy. Alright, now please no cutscene. Please no cut. Okay, got it. That is also a cutscene that sometimes will not skip. So it's always nice when it does. Just gonna raid the loot sack again, or the stash again. And now we're gonna talk to Teensai and activate Mask of Karate. Mask of Karate is one of the Izila missions. Okay, now we're gonna kill the beast, the great beast. Need to make a little more noise.
Bushcrafter is correct. The cutscenes are being very cooperative, Chief.
I'm very thankful for that. I kind of just broke my rule there about not running towards your beast and running, but that's okay. Alright, so here I will... Oh, look! Sabretooth. Look! Someone's trying to throw fire bombs at me. Jerks.
Yeah, the Azilla version of the bomber enemy throws those fire bombs instead of the poison ones. Just because of the general danger of fire in this game, that makes the Azilla bombers far and away worse.
Yeah, the problem with the fire is that sometimes you get hit to critical and then the fire continues burning you, which will end up just killing you. Okay, so I can actually lay traps all along this route while riding the Sabretooth. So I want to lay 8 of them. There's 3 so far.
And then once his 8 traps are laid, he's going to fire a couple arrows at the mammoth he's hunting and try to bait the mammoth to chase him right along the trap line. Did you get the vicious traps upgrade?
Yes, sir.
Alright. You can hear the traps snapping. The mammoth is right where they should be. And
he's
clean.
dead.
Perfect.
Okay, the next thing I do is going to be Roshani from the Fire Screamer Fort. This is the big Izila fort.
Once again, Chief is going to collect a mammoth and use it, but instead of walking through the front door like he did with the Darwa fort, he is going to use a movement trick to get the mammoth to jump off a cliff and land in the middle of the Azilla fort, almost directly on top of Roshani's head.
Okay, I think I see mammoths already. This is very good. This is exactly where you want them to spawn. It literally could not get any better because they're right along the way. Now, you're going to see me take them in from the cliff. Now, Rapora9, another speedrunner of this game, actually came up with this trick. I do it slightly differently than he does once I'm in the camp. The reason why we take the Mammoth down the cliff and in the back way is because if you go in the front way, it's very easy to get spotted, but also for some reason the Mammoth just tends to despawn.
Yep.
He just disappears out of nowhere, so we're bringing him this way.
Normally rideable beasts, if you take them to cliffs where they can't easily jump, they'll just refuse to do anything. And there's the Mammoth trying to refuse, and here's Chief hitting it at just the right angle so it goes over it. Now he's going to stick to the right side wall until he reaches that storehouse up ahead, and from there he is going to turn the Mammoth loose and let it kill the boss.
So, although the detection meter went off, I was not detected. I killed him in just enough time.
It's actually particularly important to be undetected on Fire Screamer Fort, because if an alarm goes off and reinforcements are called, the reinforcements include a couple of Azilla heavies with fire clubs, and they can very easily take out the Mammoth.
I do not want to get spotted, so I'm going to stay in here.
Note that a rampaging Mammoth that just trampled the fort's commander is not worth sounding the alarm. Only seeing Takar will cause the alarm to be sounded. Go figure, right?
Oh, that was so fast. Thank you, Mammoth. Mammoth, you kicked ass. Whew, okay. That is exactly the way you want it to go.
I don't think I should even keep talking up the difficulty of various missions, because you are just doing them completely clean. It's beautiful to watch.
Thank you, sir. Okay, now I need to go here, so let me just heal again. Heal one more time.
This is giving him enough stamina to make the fast travel.
Yep.
There it is.
And I should probably sleep as soon as I get here, because I have no stamina. And sleeping here is fine because it tends to give you better RNG when spawning the White Rhino, which after this mission called Siege of the Sun, which is the first mission that Rashani gives you, you go around, you steal these bags of seeds from the Azilla. We're gonna head over to Urki. Urki is prehistoric Herc, but in between there, we got to kill a White Rhino because the next upgrade for Da's Hut requires a White Rhino skin. And there's a spot that we use in order to spawn it. And it can be pretty tricky. It's totally dependent on our RNG.
Now, Seeds of the Sun, on the other hand, is going to be very straightforward. He needs to steal 3 bags of seeds. They'll be marked in red as the objective in Hunter Vision, and he just needs to get them from the Azilla and then leave the mission area.
And I just quickly checked my pack to see how many South Stones I had and South Rock Dust. I have enough South Rock Dust. I don't need to collect any more of that, but I do need 5 more South Stones. So that's also the other thing I need to get before leaving this area and traveling somewhere else. So I'm not messing with anybody. I'm just running through and grabbing these bags. Now I can get some more meat because there's always 2 yaks over here.
These will also give you enough skins to get the guts bag upgrade, right?
I think I already have it. Or do I? No, maybe not. Yep, I didn't. Yep, I got it now. So look, now I got
And
15 meats.
And his max is 16 now.
Okay, look out for the crocodiles. Just grab the seed bag before they do. And we're on our way. I'm looking left and right for blue leaves, for south stone, because I do need 5 more south stone. There's some blue leaves over there.
And as he said, now we have what will hopefully be a very short grind to make the white rhino appear.
Alright, now if I get really lucky, a white rhino will spawn on this side of the river. Otherwise, I have to search for him on the right side. So I need 2 more south stones now. And that's all the resources that I'll need for the for Roshani's hut. Oh, there's the south stone. Even though I could probably get it along the way somewhere else, I'm not going to risk it. I'm always going to go for it if I see it kind of close. So now I'm secure with that.
Now I just got to make the rhino appear.
Alright, if I'm lucky, I'll see a white rhino right away.
He's running back and forth between the landmarks River Bagui Cave and Nada Swamp Outpost. He is not going to enter the outpost, however. He has no reason to.
If it was... if I didn't get the Dolskin already, I would maybe look in there for it. Okay, do not... yeah. Game crashed last time here. Alright, I just hit him with a Berserk Shard to get him to go away.
Rhinos can be very aggressive if
No!
you don't use the Oh
No!
no. Oh no.
Okay, I told you this.
Technical difficulties, one moment.
This area of the map is prone to crashing the game. Okay, hold up. What's going on here? Why are you not working? I'm trying to use my task manager. Oh my gosh. Alright.
Yeah,
Oops.
that's true. That's true, Suicide Machine. Ubisoft quality strikes again. Hey, on the other hand, it could be worse. It could be Bethesda open world quality.
Okay. Okay, that's really bad to happen during the run. Actually, I'm good right now. I'm good because this happened last time and it doesn't lose much time. I thought I was going to be losing a fast travel point, but actually I have no fast travel points that I need to keep right now. This is like the luckiest place to actually crash the game, so...
Lucky to crash the game, he says. Don't forget the side stream.
Okay. Yeah, everything is going wrong, but that's okay. I'm not used to it crashing in that exact location, but hey, who knows? It will, maybe we'll spawn a white rhino immediately. Maybe this is the trick. This is the trick to spawning a white rhino immediately.
Close and restart the game to spawn a white rhino. Think you could actually route that in?
No thanks.
Nope. Looks like we got an Azilla patrol at first.
Okay, still no white rhino. I really need to get rid of these guys. So that's the thing about this area and getting the white rhino to spawn. You gotta kind of kill the things that spawn here that aren't white rhinos.
But killing
this idiot right here.
Killing regular rhinos can take too long. Hence, just leaving them alone and just getting far enough away that they'll... Oh, incoming.
He's all the way over here.
Perfect.
Which is not bad because I'm going that way next, kind of. But yeah, this was a bad result. We want to make sure we have 3 of these laid down. And then run towards him. Get him to love me. Now he really love me. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you die? But
Not
did
gonna
you
lie.
die?
Not gonna lie, I puckered up a bit there when he got close. I mean, I knew you were gonna make it, but it's just staring down a charging white rhino is just one of those things.
Oh, wait a second. Did I lose my, Okay, no, I got enough. Remember last time it crashed, I lost my, the materials that I looted?
Yeah.
No! No! Ah! Oh, no. Oh, no.
Okay. Time
Just
to
kidding.
say-
Just kidding.
Time to do the trick Tengus asked about earlier.
So, alright, guys. Sorry, it's no longer permadeath. But it can still be expert survivor. Oh, man. I should have hit my health upgrade there. Yep, second chance.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn it. That is not a normal occurrence right there, but well, I guess those enemies do spawn there pretty
And
consistently.
side again.
Oh yeah, yep. Well, do I have my skin? Oh, I lost the rhino skin. This is horrible.
So now we're back on the rhino grind.
So basically we're back to a save file. Well, I didn't do permadeath live, but I think I see one already.
That would be nice.
Yep,
Consolation
he's over
prize.
there.
Perfect. No. That is how the RNG can work in this game. Sometimes it just drops a fight on you, and that's that.
There was no dodging and weaving that could get me out of that.
Nope.
But we're back in action with no fast travel points lost or anything, so... Alright, let's try again.
Okay, so now we're headed off to talk to Urki the Thinker, who, as noted before, is Herc Drubman's, from the other Far Cry games, Herc Drubman's ancestor. Although, I have a theory that he is in fact actually Herc himself, and Herc Drubman has been alive for 10,000 years, and sometime around Far Cry 10 or 11, they'll reveal that Herc Drubman is in fact God.
12,000 years?
Something like that. 10,000 years. I said 10,000 years, and then they'll make the big reveal in, like, Far Cry 11 or 12.
Okay. So I definitely didn't route in dying there. That wasn't part of the plan. But what I'm going to do is restart the quest, because restarting the quest here is going to kind of clear out all the side enemies and stuff that I hear right now. We need to take the scent camouflage and the speed boost here.
And he needs to gather 4 items for Urki, and none of them are standard resources, so there's no way to gather them ahead of time. You have to do it when the mission asks for it. First thing he's going to do is he's going to set a couple of traps on the shore of this pond so that the ravens circling overhead will eventually, one of them will land and get snap trapped. That will give him raven feathers. He is shooting the bite fish in the pond so he can take the head of one of them. And then he is going to cross to that little island in the middle of the pond where he will claim snow grouse down and a turtle shell. And if RNG be on our side, while he is gathering the other 3 items, one of the flying ravens will come and sit down in a trap.
Oh crap. Don't die. Okay. Whoa, swim faster. Okay, don't die, don't die, don't die. There's whitefish in here that can easily kill you.
Perfect. Ooh. A little bit of fire there just to make your life more
Yep,
difficult.
this is dangerous. But we got it.
Yep. And the ravens even played ball and dropped into your snap traps for you.
Yep. Alright, so now Herky's gonna pull an Assassin's Creed over here.
Yep. He was trying to learn how to fly, but he is going to create the leap of faith. Thus supporting my fan theory that I mentioned earlier, that Far Cry Primal is in fact an Assassin's Creed prequel as well.
Okay, so now we need to sleep to rebuild our stamina. Whew. And then we're gonna kill Ul after we do Bone Dust. Bone Dust is a mission for Da. Da has some skull fires, like he has some really bad headaches because I think he has mad cow disease. I'm not sure, but he's got some real bad headaches from kind of being a cannibal and such.
I think the official line is that it's Kuru, which is the disease you get from eating human brain tissue.
Oh,
and the
okay.
Udam are, of course, making it even worse for themselves by continuing to be cannibals. So, in this mission, you're supposed to follow a healer around the village to figure out which hut is hers, then steal the bone dust from her. But the bone dust spawns in as soon as the mission starts, so you can just run directly to the hut, grab the dust, and leave. Are you also picking up any North Clay in here?
Let me check. I need 5 North Clay, yep.
So each of the bowls in here, in the huts in this outpost, will be worth 1 North Clay, so he can quickly and efficiently snag all that he needs while he's on this mission as well.
Yeah, so the mission is set up as like kind of a search. You're supposed to be like searching all these little bowls for the bone dust, and the ones that aren't bone dust, there's only one that's bone dust, but there's like 13 or 14 spots that you can search. The ones that aren't bone dust are actually North Clay. And I'm gonna take 5 of them.
The alarm does not matter in the slightest. He's going to be long gone before the reinforcements become an issue.
Okay. I should have enough now. Yep, I got enough. Probably the most interesting to watch part coming up is going to be when I kill Ul. Ul is one of the bosses. He's the boss of the Udam tribe.
Yep. So he's got a specific sequence he uses to kill Ul. And what I find the most interesting about the Ul fight in the speedrun is that there's not even any exploits involved. He's actually going to beat Ul the way the developers intended. He's just going to do it hyper efficiently. Also, it occurs to me this will actually be the marathon's first time seeing Ul, because you managed to completely skip both the cutscenes he appears in.
I think earlier when he After he captured me? Was it in practice whenever that weird glitch happened?
It was in practice when we saw the models T-posing for a second.
Oh, yeah.
This time, Ul has not... Ul is the final boss of the Udam section of this story, and this will actually be his first appearance on the run.
Okay. Oh, Jesus.
Ooh.
We're good.
Okay. Okay.
I probably shouldn't be crafting during that part. Trying to bob and weave a little bit. There's a very specific path that you want to take in order not to die. Well, he died. I'll have to try to save him.
There we go. He just used a, he actually did just use a trick.
No! Put the fire out, man. Jesus. Holy crap. Put the damn fire out.
He just used a trick for healing beasts in a hurry. If you look at the beast's midsection or backside as you offer them the meat, and then immediately start moving once the animation starts, you can avoid being locked into the feeding the beast animation. Takar will just toss them a piece of meat and keep moving. Which is very good because you're not invulnerable during that animation, and you can very easily be killed while trying to resurrect your beast. It only takes a second for the animation to play out, but as you guys already saw, a second is all the AI needs on Survivor.
Yeah. Well, I haven't upgraded my health yet. I still have that on standby. I should have used it when those Azila attacked me, but I just wasn't planning on that at all. Okay. Now we can get rid of him, take this.
That's okay, that makes,
Get another blue leaf.
That actually makes me feel a little better about the time I lost a run to a bear because I froze up.
Mm-hmm. Alright, I'm getting pretty lucky with the blue leaves now. So, you can run straight past this bonfire that they're telling me to take over right now. And I'm going straight for Ul. There's another blue leaf. Man, they hooked me up that time.
The mission he just failed, he was supposed to light a bonfire in the center of the Udam's home valley. It's not required to get to the old boss fight.
It really seems like it is, though. But it's not.
In fact, it's the only exception to what I mentioned right at the beginning about needing to do all the yellow story missions. You can let that one go and still finish this area.
Another thing that you don't technically have to do is upgrading Takar's cave.
Yeah, but sting bombs are too useful.
Yeah, and all the movement skills.
Yep.
Okay, so we're coming up on Ul right now. This is one of the scariest fights. When I first played Permadeath, like, I was shaking. I couldn't control my arms and from like just shaking out of fear, but now it's super easy.
So he's going to do a quick, specific sequence. When he gets to Ul, first he's going to drop an icicle on Ul's head. Then he's going to run up, give him one stab, set 2 traps as he backs away to bait Ul into a charge, drop a second icicle on his head, stab him again, fight over. Here's the first stab. Set the traps.
Okay, I missed one. So it's going to be a little bit harder.
Trap,
I'm going to have to hit him one more time.
And
usually he'd be dead right now, but
oh no. Don't
we're
be doing
okay.
the stuck on... Oh, I was going to say don't be doing the stuck on terrain thing, Ul.
There he died.
There we go.
Yeah, I didn't have time to place the other trap, otherwise he would have died in that second one.
Yep. We did get one glitch during the practice runs where Ul just stayed under the first icicle and refused to move. That was fun. thought for a second there we were about to see that again.
Okay, now we upgrade Da's hut, and then talk to Da. After that... Okay, that is the last upgrade that I'll do for Da's hut.
Malchazar. Shaskami ti waidam.
Just running around the village, restocking supplies, and then pick up another mission or two.
Yep, I have to build Roshani's hut now.
Yep. And then you're also upgrading Da's hut right now.
Yep, I already did that.
Okay.
I upgraded his hut, talked to him, and he gave me the mission, or actually I gave him the bone dust. He didn't give me a mission.
But after you talk to Roshani, Da should be available to talk to get his next mission.
Nope, you gotta travel out
Okay.
and then back again. At this point it's just travel back to Urki and do his second mission called Strong Like Rock. And I use all of my stamina to get here. On survivor mode, as long as you have 100% full stamina, you can travel 3,000 steps away. And this Urki's campfire happens to be like 2,999 steps away, so it uses all your stamina. So every time you travel out here, you gotta sleep to fill it up again, or eat food, but it's slow to eat food like that. Sometimes I can get a nice flip up here. Okay, and we're on our way. Now I'm going to do a trick here that allows me to duplicate my Berserk Bomb. Again, just like the bait, just like the shards, if you jump from a small cliff, at least a height that will at least give you some kind of falling animation while holding a throwable like this. Jump, hold the throwable, don't let go, it releases automatically, and I still have it in my inventory.
There it is. And now he just needs to grab these 3 red marked rocks with which Urki is going to try to make a suit of armor. And I'll go ahead and explain now what's going to happen because it happens so fast at the end of the mission. Chief is going to bring the rocks back to Urki, who is going to make his suit of armor, and as soon as control is returned to Chief, about a half second before the screen fades back in, Chief is going to throw a spear. Because the game will actually position him in perfect position to finish the mission before the screen even fades back in.
Yeah, so Urki wants me to test out his new suit of armor by, like, causing him serious bodily harm and or death.
Hear it? And pow! You'd be forgiven for thinking that scream of pain was actually part of the cutscene.
Okay, now we do blood sacrifice.
Just like the Lost Totem mission earlier, blood sacrifice, he really wants to make sure he doesn't trigger any alerts. There is a Wenja about to be sacrificed and a priestess approaching to do the sacrifice. He needs to kill that priestess, And he also wants to prevent alerts here, because if the alarm goes off, a second priestess will arrive, and he'll have to lose precious seconds killing her as well.
Okay. So at this point, it is... I'm gonna bust out the shards real quick. Okay, there's one on the left, one on the right.
Ding bomb right into the middle of the group, which should instantly get rid of the priestess.
Damn, I missed.
Goes.
Nope. I'm gonna get my health upgrade now.
There we go. Salvation heal. Salvation upgrade. And reward that too accurate spearman by giving him the bonk.
Death from above is always nice.
Kill so nice, we'll do it twice. The people who just noticed him are unarmed civilians. They can be ignored.
Okay, now it is Mask of Krati.
Yes, they do, Iagoluch. He's asking, do enemies spin with you when you hit them in a takedown? Yes, they do. We,
Unlike
we're
New
still
Dawn, and unlike, I'm pretty sure it doesn't happen in 5 either. But yeah, the takedowns are awesome because you like spin around in circles and aim towards the next enemy that you want to do like a shard takedown with.
We still haven't confirmed whether or not this allows you to use an enemy as a human shield. I mean, you can spin to put your victim between another enemy who's shooting at you. But we haven't yet been able to figure out if that actually causes them to take the hit for you.
Yeah,
More testing is needed.
I was pretty annoyed with New Dawn when I found I was unable to aim my knife throw takedowns. Because you're unable to spin with the body when you do a takedown. Okay, so that's easy work of Mask of Krati. You literally just run past everybody and then take the mask.
And now he's going to avoid a pile of walkways by climbing up the wall to reach a couple of grapple points that will allow him to bypass the rest of this mission. Here he goes. Get it? There we go.
Okay, then we jump off of here. And swing up and out. Now my wolf is down, but that's okay because finishing the mission will revive him automatically. So we're out. That's all Mask of Krati is right there.
In fact, anytime you trigger a cutscene, if your beast is down, your beast will receive a heal to get them back up. Something to keep in your back pocket during a run if your beast has an unlucky moment. If you can just reach the next cutscene, they're fine and you don't have to stop to help them. You heartless bastard.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work if you're not like loading the cutscene or something at the end of that. Like the blaze. When you're done with the blaze.
Yeah, no cutscene.
Mission ends, but you just have to run away. You don't get like, you know, forced into a cutscene or something. So that right there is the talk with Da that activates Sisters of Fire, which is his last mission. That one, you got to be careful with that talk with Da because it takes a while for it to finish. And if you run too far away, you'll cancel it out and have to redo it from the beginning. So I wait here until it finishes. Yep. And then I run out looking for blue leaves.
Yeah, when I said at the beginning that we adapt and use everything in this run, I meant it. We use everything, including the subtitles.
Okay, I have to, I should have been eating. I forgot to refill my stamina, so I'm not going to be able to make it here. But I can make it here and then sleep.
Well, I mean, spending 14 hours doing something and forgetting to eat is pretty normal for you. That's why he's the primal god.
Well, I knew this run was going to be fun whenever I started out. In the beginning, losing 2 minutes because of a soft lock.
So, I've never seen that particular soft lock before. How often does that happen?
Well, what happened is I threw my spear too early because I wasn't used to how the timers were set up. And I had to go into my menu. My macro didn't work right, and it actually kept my hunter vision off. So I had to go to the menu to fix it, and it threw off my timer. Because I timed that first throw at like 101, 102. As long as I do that, I'm safe. But yeah.
Well, what I was getting at is that was the Mammoth soft blocking this run's official, that's never happened before moment?
It's happened, but it's really rare because even like usually what happens if you go a little too early there is you just end up getting Dulso killed, and then it just reloads the last checkpoint. But what happened this time was the Mammoth just kept running back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, wasting even more time.
So back to the present, what he has to do here is he needs 5 pieces of rhino dung while dodging the rhinos in the area. Then he needs 5 honeycombs, and while he's getting the honeycombs, he is going to tame one of the brown bears wandering around near them. And then he's going to leave this area, and as soon as the game checkpoints, just like way back at the first mission, he is going to load checkpoint as soon as it happens, and it will take him straight to Urki to save the walk back.
Don't kill me. Don't kill me. I'll tame you from this bush.
Just made it. That bear had almost finished eating, too. There's the honeycomb. Wait for the checkpoint to hit. There's the checkpoint, and boom. And we are now at Urki. He is going to kneecap him with one swing of his club. Then he's going to send in the bear to finish the job. Urki thinks this armor, this new repellent he's created will... Yeah, no.
The bear seemed to be attracted to him.
Hey, we even drowned Urki. That hasn't happened in a while.
Oh, guess I'm gonna sleep, because I have no stamina.
Used to be in non-speed challenge run type situations. It is considered part of the run that you also have to pick up Urki and throw him in the water. Just because. Yeah,
it's funny when you throw Urki in the water, he actually sounds like he's in water. Like they actually recorded a separate track for him being in the water. Alright, so I'm currently working with no speed boost. So we're a little bit slower. But we can ride this bad boy the rest of the way up here. Alright, so this is the blaze. And the goal is to set everything on fire. But you really only have to kill these 3 haystacks in each one of the fields. And there's 3 fields, and then there's 3 buildings that need to be lit on fire. Ooh, that was close. Just barely dodged that one guy.
As you might be able to hear, there's slingers, spearmen, and a fire heavy all gunning for him. And perfect.
There we go.
No hitter. Completely clean.
Now it takes a little while to fast travel after here, but if you run down this way, there might be a blue leaf, and then you're allowed to actually travel a lot sooner than any other location I've run to. So there we go.
You have to get a certain distance away from enemies in order to fast travel. You don't necessarily have to completely break contact, though. The game will frequently let you fast travel when you're still within bow shot range of enemies, but you can't be within melee range.
Okay, now this next mission is extremely dangerous because everyone here has like fire bombs, pretty much.
He, as the name implies, Sisters of Fire. He has 3 targets. One of them is an archer, one of them is a heavy, and the third one is in fact a firebomber.
Okay, we'll go on the left side of this.
Ideally, he will again be able to just rush through. You bought both the upgrades you needed, heavy takedown and surge takedown?
Yeah, so to do this mission efficiently, you want to have heavy takedown because one of the 3 sisters is actually a heavy. We're going to be doing takedowns because we also have the search takedown skill, which is going to automatically loot the enemies that you take down. And in order to finish this mission, you need to kill and loot the 3 sisters.
Yep.
And not die.
That's the hard part.
But we can do it stealth.
Yep. And by stealth, we mean running like a madman, juking at just the right moments so nobody has eyes on you for long enough.
Sliding is very nice sometimes. Throw a rock. Is all like, what the hell?
Here's the archer, and that is a shard takedown. Stab one person, throw a shard at another for a second automatic kill. Take out this guy because he is a hornblower. He has his own alert horn. This civvy will sound the alarm. Here's the heavy. Heavy takedown done. And here's our firebomber. She's history 2. And
okay, I'm getting fire bombs. Alright, there we go, we did it.
Clean and perfect, like always.
Now the only thing that's left is to kill Batari. And we're going to do that now. And you know what? I'm not going to sleep because I got plenty of meats. And we'll just heal like this. Alright, we're almost done. I might run a few minutes over. But as soon as I kill Batari, I'm going to pretty much call time. That's not the official ending of the run. The official ending of the run is after killing Batari. You go back to the village, you talk to Da, you talk to Roshani, you talk to Urki, and then you run to the middle of the village. And you finish when it says Land of Oros conquered. But since I'll be running a little behind, I don't want to keep the schedule too far behind. We can go ahead and cut out all the shit on the end and just finish whenever. kill Sorry.
Powers that be, bingo bongos. Do you want him to call it right after the Batari fight, or do you want him to, or are you okay with him doing the final cutscenes? Because the last 4 minutes of the run is basically just taking a victory lap around the village. There's no bosses left to fight, nothing left to do, except see the end cutscenes. So
We can end it when I kill Batari. But just so people know, that's not the official ending of the run. I'm just doing it to stay on pace with the schedule. So at this point, there's 3 locations that we run to in order to free these Winja captives. And we free the captives, and we tell them to go meet us at the temple to get prepared to kill Batari. Alright, let's see if I can get this upgrade yet. Nope. Okay. I just need to have shards. Slow down a little bit here, I guess. You can see I didn't quite catch the crafting in time, and it slowed me down a lot. So I didn't
there you
really
go,
get the
Lone
trick.
Magi. If you want to see the ending, you'll just have to follow Chief Supreme. Which you should all do anyway, because he's an amazing person.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you should follow Nukem Quad 9 too. Just Nukem 9999. He's got a lovely voice.
As I mentioned before, I am actually the ranking new guy of the Primal speedrunning community. I am more of an achievement runner, and I am just beginning my speedrunning career. And Chief was kind enough to give me this opportunity, which is why I've been singing his praises.
Okay, so what you want to do here is avoid, however possible, avoid letting your Wenja die. Your Wenja are your allies. So when I say Wenja, I'm talking about my allies, the ones that I'm freeing out of the cages. Okay, that was great. I got another blue leaf. That'll hold me over for the rest of the run, pretty much. I might need one more blue leaf. So first area was successful.
It's a great deal of RNG in these rescues because Chief can't stop to fight because that's slow. Really, he just has to cause as much trouble as he can, cut the Wenja out of their cages, and hope they can run fast enough. It's pretty much up to them to save themselves once he gets them out of their bonds.
Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Don't kill me. He sounds close. I just put my beast away super fast so that he didn't get killed by the mammoths.
Correct, Macrodon. Death counter is only 1.
Okay.
Since one of the nice things about the shard takedowns is normally a shard cannot score an instant kill on somebody wearing a helmet, but if you do the shard takedown where you stab one guy and then throw a shard at another guy, that's a guaranteed kill even if they're wearing a helmet.
Okay. That was pretty wild, but I think we're going to be okay. I just try to free the Wenja and get away from him as soon as possible, because what can happen is if you stick around trying to protect the Wenja, the enemies will shoot at you and you'll dodge and they'll miss you and then shoot your allies. And if they die, it's reload to a checkpoint. Okay, so that's going pretty well so far. This last one I like to use a berserk bomb, just to berserk all the guys that are kind of down below, and then I free the 2 captives. And we carry on. So here's the berserk. Okay, there's the... I really didn't need to do that.
Berserk. As with the previous escort mission, a berserk bomb is great for causing some
God.
fighting and making sure your escorts get away.
It's a little bit wild here. Okay, I was getting pretty damn wild. I really hope that they don't kill the Winja. Dude, your beast can be almost dead, and you can put him away, and it saves his life. It's kind of unfair, but...
Yeah, well, the beast does physically remain in the world and have an animation of running off. Once you dismiss them, they are invincible. So that you can use that to save them.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. 3, 2, 1, go. Come on. I didn't free him. Damn it.
Oop.
Well, that'd be a time loss, and
I didn't even notice that and point it out to you. I'm a bad co-commentator.
more of a bad person in general.
Aw, come on. Weren't we just saying nice things about each other?
Well, you didn't like fix my mistakes for me. Damn you for not. Damn you for not making up for my screw-ups. Alright, dude, it's time to move on. What's going on here, guys?
Oh, he better not be stuck on. There he goes. Yeah, each of those rescue outposts is a mini mission of its own, and they won't let you leave until the last Winja escapes. So, he has to protect the squad of Winja while they knock over this giant pillar to create a bridge into the Azilla's last fort. And he does actually have to kill some Azilla here because the Azilla will target and shoot at the Winja.
But I got everything on fire right now, and I got this cave line right here, so they'll start targeting him.
There's one.
Yeah, everyone's back right now, so we're doing all right. Okay, just one more to go. All right, here we go.
There we go.
We'll
And
kill Batari now.
as soon as you put on the Mask of Krati, all the Azilla begin running from you. There are no further enemies between you and Batari. Also, if you have music on, the game's one licensed track, The Wolf by Fever Ray, starts playing. It's a fantastic track, and I really wish we could run it, but the DMCA, you know how that is. So, what I think is really cool and really funny here, remember how I said the old fight was basically doing the intended fight hyper efficiently? Against Batari, we are completely ignoring the intended fight, and instead we are going to jump over a fence we're not supposed to be able to get over and just stab her. See,
So we're about 30 seconds away.
Yeah, we're coming up on time. The intended strat is to stand in front of her altar trading fire with her. But what he's going to do is he's going to run at this gate on his Sabretooth and jump, dismount in midair, get over on the first try, and...
Boom!
Bye-bye.
Time. Sorry. That's it. Well, I could have let that play, I guess.
Yeah, you spoiled my chance to sing This Girl Is on Fire. In the cutscene there,
So-
Takar kills Batari by tossing her into her own fire pit.
That fight usually takes about 5-6 minutes, but by skipping it, it takes 27 seconds, maybe 30 seconds. But yeah, pretty much at this point, it's all over. I just run back to talk to Rashani, to Urki, and to Da. And then there's an unskippable cutscene, which takes 2 minutes, so we could actually move on to the next runner if they're ready. But I'll take this opportunity to say thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the speedrun of Far Cry Primal Expert Survivor. Sorry that I couldn't finish it with no deaths. There was one unexpected death in an area that I never die in. But that's how it always happens.
Yep.
And of course I'm getting an unskippable cutscene now, which is not normal.
So, since we're going to lose these cutscenes, the short of it is, Rashani decides to join the Wenja. He wants to be a military commander again, but Takar tells him he's going to be chief of the farms instead. He doesn't like that. Then we go talk to Da. Da's skullfire has become terminal, so he asks Takar to euthanize him, which Takar does. We also talk to Urki right here. Urki thinks he has found this village, and he invites Takar to stay, and Takar is too nice a guy to correct him. And then it all ends in the middle of the village with a dance party.
And this is another unskippable cutscene that's 2 minutes long. But yeah, pretty much after this cutscene, you run out to the middle of the village, skip that cutscene, and the run is over. But we are about 13 and a half minutes behind our best time. That is, the run started out with a soft lock, which was not normal. I was 2 minutes lost there. Then the game crashed. I died. So there's a lot of things that added up. But overall, you got to see all the tricks that I do. You got to see the entire run and how it comes together.
They're even getting to see the end cutscenes. How about that? I hope Macrodon is happy.
And bingo bongo, so I'm not sure if the next runner is ready or where we go from here, but just let me know what to do.
You can say your goodbyes. We're all ready.
Okay.
All right.
So that's,
Promote yourself.
yeah, so if you guys like Far Cry games, I'm going to be running the new Far Cry 6 that comes out here on Thursday, the 7th. And my name is ChiefSupreme6803. So please stop by, drop me a follow. I stream all the time, so streams are never in short supply. But again, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it. And thank you, Nukem Quad 9. Go ahead and go follow him too.
Where Chief Supreme is a Far Cry specialist, I run a more general selection of open world games, and as I noted earlier, I'm more of an achievement runner, but I am getting started in speedrunning. Thank you again, Chief, for giving me this chance to commentate and enjoy this show.
Hi. If you're seeing that message, it means you're one of the crazy few
This is the
people
special
who
message
just
you get at
managed
the
to
end.
finish the new survivor mode of Far Cry Primal.
But I feel bad
with
because I
expert
cheated.
difficulty and permadeath. That's a big achievement. I would never have managed to do it
Alright, see you guys later. Thanks for watching.
Congratulations, it's really impressive.
Good luck to the next runner.
My name is Thomas.
Oh, by the way, the
I'm a
next
Far Cry Primal
game
director.
actually has the same
When
voice
we
actor as
decided to create
Takar.
that survival mode, it was after
So,
launch when we
Deus
started
Ex, Adam
to get
Jensen
lots of
is
feedback from the
Takar
community.
from
And we
Far Cry
actually
Primal.
took a lot of ideas and
See y'all
suggestions
later.
from the players about